Hi everyone, I'm Mike Dougherty from Remix AI. As we were mentioning, Remix is sort of a social app with generative AI content. And so if you think about it, it's sort of like Instagram, but instead of posting a photo, you create an image and post it, get likes, comments, etc. So I'll show you it in a second. First, I will advance the slide. So I would like to thank Relay. I'm a second-time Relay founder. We mentioned Jelli. Our co-founders are very experienced. So Kevin Swint, my co-founder, was the former head of global experiences at Airbnb. Before that, he was the person who built and shipped Disney Plus at Disney. Gary Clayton is also a second-time Relay portfolio executive. He was the chairman of Automat AI. And I met Gary at Tell Me, which was sort of the speech recognition platform that was created by a bunch of Netscape founders, and we were acquired by Microsoft. Gary, Kevin, and myself all have experience creating consumer experiences that take raw technology that is magical, whether it's machine learning or AI in this case, or robotics, and trying to make it human or make it more usable by consumers. And so Remix is part of that career. Our investors, in addition to Relay leading our seed round, we have David Hornick from Lobby Capital, who's a great investor. And two of our investors, individuals, Jim Everingham, who's the former head of Instagram's engineering team at Meta, as well as Kevin Wheel, the former head of Instagram's product team. And so you've heard me mention the word Instagram a few times, and you can understand that that's probably very influenced our design of Remix. So our thesis about AI, I won't be able to go into depth about generative AI today because there's a lot to be discussed today later about generative AI. I'll just say that for me, it's probably one of the most magical technologies I've seen since the internet, since the invention of the internet. It's something that almost daily while we're working on it, we're surprised by. And I'll show you some of that when I show you the product. But the thesis we have is that this innovation is going to continue in a rapid and radical way. And that every 3 to 6 months, we're going to see advancements that shock us and surprise us. There are lots of issues that we're going to be running into in our culture, like with the internet, that will affect our culture at fundamental levels over the next decade. But it's also a very exciting time. And I think that although image is what I'm going to show you today, video is next. We are probably 12 to 18 months away, or sorry, 18 to 24 months, before video is sort of at the state of where image is. And when that happens, engagement and the type of content that we're going to be creating as individuals is going to be very exciting. These technology shifts, when it comes to media and social media, create opportunities. So in the case of the internet, YouTube was one of the companies that was invented at that time. And not only did it create a new place for short-form video, but a new media type, which was the short-form video, as well as user-generated content. Instagram did something similar with mobile. So our cameras that were attached to our mobile phone was connected to the internet now, and you had social networks. And so people could post photos. The media type changed because it was more than just photos of my vacation, for example. It became influencers, and even just getting a feedback loop from your friends about your photos was different. TikTok used machine learning. That was the advancement in that phase. They sort of took a little bit from YouTube, a media experience with machine learning, and saying, I'm going to give you what you want next, and mobile and the short form, and they sort of created TikTok. And so we think that AI is creating another moment where there's a new type of experience that consumers will enjoy, and it will probably create a new media type, and we're not exactly sure what the media type is going to be yet. It's that early. So let's talk a little bit about what Remix is. Remix is available in both the iOS and Android app stores right now. We launched about a month ago. It's free, so if you want to play around and kind of learn how to use generative AI for free, download Remix and play around. Don't worry about what you post. It's sort of like the, kitchen door or the refrigerator door in your home. Just put the art up there and people will like it or not. It doesn't matter. It's a very early stage of it. But in any case, we have a machine learning feed that we built so that we can give you what next from the community that you might like. There is a collaborative AI engine that you use to generate the AI, sort of like a filter of Instagram, but so you can make it right on the app. As well as we have a remix feature, which is our form of a retweet, where you can kind of react to someone else's post and change it. And I'll show you a little bit about that in a second. So I'll show you really quick. There's an image that was inspired by, I saw it on Remix one day. It looked like Margaret Thatcher to me. So I was like, let's put Margaret Thatcher into something funny. And so here's the demo. Oops. Get it started. So I'm going to create something. And so in this case, I'm going to use Margaret Thatcher as the idea. You start with an idea. We're like sort of we're a social network for your imagination. Use prompting. So in this case, we're typing in Margaret Thatcher. And we have a very simple way you can start to build your prompt, which is the text that you're going to ask the engine to come back with. We use these styles. So you can tap on a bunch of styles. And essentially, you're generating a prompt that you're going to submit to the AI just by tapping a few of these things. So here's the prompt that we created. We're going to send it to the AI, and we're going to see what comes back. So in this case, it's a very simple one. I just want to create a photograph of Margaret Thatcher. Let's see what happens. Generates fast, free, fun is our idea. So that's a pretty good picture, kind of boring. So I was like, let's have something that's a little bit funnier, more fun. So I remembered a prompt that someone else had done of these people jumping. So we changed I kept the subject the same, changed the style, used our history feature to pick the prompt, and reran it. And so in this case, you are generating again. So I restructured the prompt, sent it back in. My prior role is still there if I wanted to go back to it. And we want to see what happens. So here's Margaret Thatcher jumping, which is a lot cooler, kind of funny. And so I said, okay, that's pretty good. Let's make it even more interesting. How about, I saw this one about 70s ABBA. Let's put Margaret Thatcher into 70s ABBA style. I don't know, let's just see what that does. So again, your imagination takes you to where you want to go. And so I changed the prompt to that, surrealistic poses, blah, blah, blah. And so these prompts get very elaborate. And so what you learn from others about how to do good prompts with this product. And so here we are, we're generating it again. We're trying to keep our generations under 20 seconds or 30 seconds to make it quick. And here is the result. So a little bit more interesting. The final one I'll show you is I said, look, these are all pretty good. I had this idea of a LA-based party, like a pool party with celebrities at it. So let's put Margaret Thatcher in that pool party. So the last one is that prompt. And you can this will take me to the remix. You'll see kind of how it works. It's generating. And so here's Margaret Thatcher tatted up, at the party, along with Marie Antoinette. I think that was someone else. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe, all these the Pope, Gandhi, and Mr. Spock. So it's just for fun. Again, this is not a tool that you're using for business. This is not like ChatGPT where you're writing some business memo and or put it on Twitter. This is something that's just for your imagination, for a lot of fun, and for posting. And so we have a lot of people who are using this now. I'll show you the stats in a second. And what they're really having fun are doing these remixes. This was, somebody posted these two alpacas, who knows why, and they were next to a gas station that was on fire. Again, who knows why, but the alpacas looked like they had something to do with the gas station on fire. So everyone thought that was kind of funny. And so people started remixing this with alpacas going out and doing mayhem on other gas stations and things. And it led to this sort of remix, which you can see over here. You can kind of follow the thread with the original post. And people started putting alpacas into all sorts of scenarios. And so it became kind of like a little bit of a meme with like weird 80s, family photos and like The Shining over here. And so it's just, the engine's very powerful, and it allows you to make basically paintings in seconds, or photos in seconds, or everything in seconds. And so my takeaway for all of you is that if Instagram created trillions of digital photos, we're going to see trillions of these types of images. They're going to flood our culture. A lot of them will be posted on Remix. And it's going to be a moment where we have a new type of media. So we launched about a month ago. This slide I sent last week when we were 3 weeks into our launch. We grew very fast from our launch. We had 17, this was at that time 12,000 MAUs in our first 3 weeks. Since then we've doubled. So we ended the month with a little north of 22,000 MAUs. What was interesting about the data isn't just the growth, was what they were doing. So we're seeing about 25 minutes of time spent on the app per person, which is about equivalent to what you see on social media. So I think Instagram's anywhere from 28 to 33 minutes a day. There's about 2 hours a day we spend on social media. So we're seeing a lot of engagement where people are using it like big social media apps, but what's different is they're leaning forward. They're not leaning back like TikTok. They're not leaning back like Instagram. We're seeing 50 times more creativity or posting on our app. I think they're treating it like a creative tool. And I guess, am I done or close? So I'll just go to the business model. So the generally AI creation tools charge with a subscription. And so it's just a question of how much free you get before you hit the subscription level. So in the case, there's like Midjourney, which is an amazing product. There's a very slim free use period. Runway, which is a video product, very short free use period. Our strategy is to try to go with a product that's mobile, mainstream, and keep the freemium a little longer such that we get more people using it, and then we will charge a lower price point subscription fee. Midjourney is doing about $200 million a year, very profitable, and so we think that this is a model that's going to not be advertising-based, but rather subscription-based. So that's Remix, and thank you all for hearing the presentation.